What would happen if you drilled a hole through the earth? Let's say you had a really big drill. No, bigger than that. A drill big enough to go straight through the entire planet, from one side to the other, cutting a tunnel right through Earth's core. What would happen if you jumped in? First, we need to assume a few things. Realistically, the center of the Earth is around 6,400 kilometers down, filled with solid rock, liquid metal, and a whole lot of death. Temperatures rise to over 6,000 degrees Celsius near the core. Pressure is millions of times what we feel on the surface. And even the best drilling technology we have has only made it 12 kilometers down, which is basically scratching Earth's dandruff. But let's say you're really determined. You've invented some sci-fi level technology that lets you cut through rock like butter, magically remove all the molten metal, and line the tunnel so it doesn't collapse or burn you to a crisp. Also, for convenience, we'll say this hole is in a vacuum, so there's no air friction. Basically, you've created a perfect earth-piercing tube from one side of the planet to the other. What happens if you jump in? At first, nothing much. You step into the hole. You start falling. And for a moment, it feels like a regular skydive, except you're not falling down. You're falling through. Thanks to gravity, you start accelerating. 9.8 meters per second squared. That's the same as falling off a building, just forever, until you reach the center of the Earth. As you fall, gravity is pulling you toward Earth's center. But interestingly, the deeper you go, the weaker gravity gets, because the mass above you starts to cancel out the mass below. By the time you reach the core, gravity is effectively zero. You're weightless, but you're not stopping. You've picked up a lot of speed. At the very center, you're moving at your maximum velocity, around 28,000 kilometers per hour, or nearly Mach 23. That's fast enough to circle the Earth in about 90 minutes and or get a speeding ticket from every police officer on the planet, simultaneously. But then, you start going up the other side of the tunnel. Now gravity is working against you. It slows you down, little by little, the same way it helped speed you up on the way in. Your velocity decreases as you climb back toward the surface on the opposite side of the Earth. And eventually, assuming you don't grab anything, you reach the exact same height you started from, and then fall back again, just like a swing or a pendulum or a very poorly planned subway. If there were no air resistance, you'd oscillate back and forth forever. Fall to the center, speed up, slow down, reach the surface on the other side, fall back again. Infinite tunnel yo-yo. But here's the catch. Air. If your tunnel has air in it, and you didn't vacuum seal it like we said earlier, then things get messy, really messy. As you fall, the air gets denser, much denser. At a certain point, you'd be falling so fast through so much air that the friction would heat you up, slow you down, and probably cook you. You'd reach terminal velocity, the point where drag balances gravity, and from there, your fall would be more of a slow, sizzling glide. Eventually, you'd stop, somewhere near the middle of the Earth, hovering in the dense burning air, going nowhere, suspended in a giant underground sauna of doom. Now let's go back to the fun version, the vacuum tunnel. You could use this system as the greatest transportation method ever. Want to go from Argentina to China in 42 minutes? Just hop in. No fuel, no engines, just gravity doing the work. This idea is so compelling that it's got a name, the gravity train. The concept is that you could travel between any 2 points on Earth, assuming a straight tunnel through the planet, in about 42 minutes, no matter the distance. Even if you're just going from New York to Los Angeles, it still takes 42 minutes. That's because gravity pulls you into the tunnel and then slows you down symmetrically on the other side. But again, molten core, heat, pressure, extreme engineering, and the small matter of digging through 12,000 kilometers of Earth make it slightly impractical. Also, if you're imagining popping out the other side like a piece of toast, sorry, the Earth is spinning. So even if you drilled a perfect tunnel from, say, Spain to New Zealand, by the time you got to the other end, the exit point would have moved. You'd fly out sideways at several hundred kilometers per hour, crash into a mountain, and deeply regret not wearing a helmet. Oh, and one more thing. You probably wouldn't float at the center like some sci-fi scenes show. You'd pass through it at high speed, and if you tried to stop there, you'd have to fight both gravity and inertia. Best case, you become a new, permanent, slightly squashed feature of Earth's core. So, what would happen if you drilled a hole through the Earth? You'd need technology that doesn't exist, break every known law of engineering, and probably die from heat, air pressure, or physics in general. But if you somehow pulled it off and vacuumed the tunnel, you could invent a whole new way to travel, fast, fuel-free, and slightly terrifying. Just don't forget to bring snacks. It's a long fall.